Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. I've got a good one for you today because there is something missing right now. And we're going to cover this extensively. Uh, Please, as always, like this video. Please share this video. Please subscribe to this channel. And today we have a sponsor, Patriot, and I'll talk about them in a bit. It has rained here for a bunch of days. And I love coming out to the park when it's quiet like this on mornings like this. And they let me know, hey, I have bad news, the train's closed today, so we will not be going on the train together today. But there is something called the working poor, and I think more and more people are part of this group. And 4 years ago, I did a study and videos for you guys about rents and how rent started to shoot through the roof. And it started with Australia. You know, Australia is a fascinating place. First of all, their rents are basically calculated weekly. Most people get paid weekly in Australia, so they calculate the rents per week. And what we saw was crazy figures where rents in Australia went up 26%, 43%, and even doubled in some locales. And I had people write me, and it was just fascinating. But I was blown away by the weekly rent rate, which is basically, it's the same thing. It's yearly rent. They just break it down weekly. So you can multiply it by 4. Some landlords take rent on the first of the month. Some want their rent, every Wednesday. It was fascinating to learn this. But what we were seeing was more and more people that were getting priced out of a place to live. Now, running a news channel and doing this, it's fascinating what you learn and what gets shared globally right now. And Dr. Marvin sent me a great video that Ted Koppel had done for the morning news and yesterday, and it was about how people that are working are still poor, and our middle class is just getting destroyed right now, and people are getting priced out of the markets. Now, think about this. Here in Southern California, it is crazy. What my friends have paid for condos, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 more. And their payments, wow, we were so great to get our payment under $8,000 a month. Whoa, okay? Now, some of you hear that and you just go, shocking. And my brother calls me this morning, was talking about real estate prices in Las Vegas, how they're dropping to the floor, and you're starting to see $50,000 and $100,000 price drops, and people that bought houses that owned them 7 and 8 years and lost money. It's fascinating. But the big problem is that people are working full-time right now, full-time, 40 hours a week, if not more, and they cannot afford to have their own place to live. Now, I went out with another YouTuber, again, 4 years ago, and we went and filmed in Los Angeles and saw people living in their cars that had full-time jobs and could not afford rent in downtown LA and Hollywood, and had to resort to bathing at the gym and sleeping in their cars. This is a huge problem. Who's dealing with this? Who's dealing with this? Wages are not keeping up. The world can tell us how, oh, you're making more money than ever. You're not, because things have shot up through the roof. And, is inflation dropping? Maybe. That sure seems expensive right now. And when you have people that go out and cannot afford rent for a 1-bedroom place. My cousin moved from here in Southern California. He wanted to live in what we call South County. It's the county it's the part of Orange County that's right above San Diego County. The Marine base, Camp Pendleton, separates Orange County and San Diego. He wanted to live in the South County area, which is nice, but he's like, Dan, I'm looking at apartments for a 1-bedroom place in an okay complex. It's $3,400 a month. And he's like, why do that? Now, he lives in Arizona, rents a house on a golf course where his backyard faces the golf course. He has a swimming pool for $3,000 a month, and he's got almost 3,000 square feet. And again, he lives by himself, and his kids come visit him, and his friends do, and his cousin does occasionally. But that is the difference. Now, people right now in New York City, places like Los Angeles, they cannot afford to eat, take care of their kids, pay for childcare, and pay for rent. You've got to make up for it somehow. I had dinner with a friend the other night, and she was telling me about a friend of hers who had a fight with the house that she lived in, where there was a home that was owned by cops and firefighters. Cops and firefighters own the house, and they rent out rooms to people. And this woman was paying $500 to live in this house. $500. That's it. That was her rent. And she basically had her own private entrance, her own little kitchenette, bathroom, and everything, and got into a squabble with her landlord. And they're like, okay, you're out in 30 days. Bye. So she's got to be out by December 1st. And I'm like, I just told her the $3,400 story. I said, she has no clue what she's going to make. I don't even think she makes that in a month, Dan. Well, she's going to experience homelessness or living with a friend or something like that, because it's crazy. And landlords, you know, in New York City, this is a perfect example. These people are horrible. And for everything bad about landlords, they hammered it home in New York City. This Mamdani guy's an imbecile, and he is an idiot, and he is making promises to the poorest of poor people that think that this guy's going to be able to come up with some magic elixir that's going to give everything away for free. And it's never, ever, ever going to happen. You will see problems with the police, problems with the firefighters. The head of the fire department just quit, who's a really wealthy guy who's like, I'm not participating in this nonsense. It's going to be insane. But again, this is affecting everybody, and people don't want to get up and go to work. People don't want to get up and take care of themselves. I'm telling you, learning finances, getting a financial education is the most fascinating thing ever. It really is. The most successful friends that I have in my life, every single one of them were dirt poor at one point. And I mean, they had nothing, and they had to figure it out. And I have one friend that I wish I could tell you the story, because it was so brilliant, how he wasn't in this country and how he worked to help people with English and how he made a living. And again, arguably one of the most successful guys, but again, grounded and rounded is what I call it, where these people have experienced this and they don't want to experience it again. Could this guy go drive any car he wants, any sports car, live anywhere he wants? Yes. Doesn't choose to. Chooses to have peace of mind and work on moving his business forward. And again, the thrill of educating yourself, the thrill of knowing more is worth more. So I'm telling you right now, there's a lot more to cover on this. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Patriot Gold Group has been #1 rated for 9 years in a row with Consumer Affairs. They have well over 10,000 clients. They have done over $1 billion in sales. The rate cuts are starting, guys. They're here. You're going to see history repeat itself with certain stock market bubbles and certain problems that we're going to have. You need to protect yourself. Billionaires, rich people, municipalities, countries, banks are all buying precious metals to protect themselves and their future. Call Patriot Gold Group today, 888-330-1431. Do it now before it's too late, but let them answer all your questions. I love their customer service. I am not just a spokesman for them. I am a client of theirs, and I love this company. But you have to look at ways to protect yourself between now and the end of the year. Call #1 rated Patriot Gold Group before it's too late. If you don't want to call, use the link below, fill it out. They will send you a free investor guide, and they will answer all your questions. Contact them today. Make it your New Year's resolution to fix your finances. Contact Patriot Gold Group today. I like making predictions with myself where, give myself a time frame. There's going to be massive layoffs between now and November 1st. I was right about that. And unfortunately, you haven't seen anything yet. One prediction that I am making right now is you're going to see more and more families living together. And when I was dead broke and you try to make arrangements and try to keep your kids and get by, you do what you can do. And I talked about this with friends about living with other people. And I like living alone, guys. I like, having the guest room. If my buddy Gary from Florida calls and says, hey, I'm flying out for a week, is the room available? Yes, it is. Come on out, buddy. But if my kids come down or they come in from out of town, it's there. It's available for them. But I don't know, and I do know the answer to this, and I couldn't handle living with another adult and all their personalities and everything else right now. I just couldn't do it. But you're going to see more and more families that are going to have to shack up together and have two families, kids, maybe 3 kids, 4 kids, 7 kids in one house, living together to get by. This is going to happen. You're going to see more and more of this between now and next year, because the affordability talk, thank God they're having this talk right now, but it's not working, guys. People are not being able to afford to live right now. It's happening. Now, I want you to think about a few things. Peter Schiff, I love Peter Schiff. I'd like to interview Peter Schiff one day, and he's just a brilliant, brilliant guy. But he has a great article below that you can read talking about how he's starting to poll Bitcoin purchasers. And do you feel Peter was right yet, as comparing Bitcoin to gold? And again, Peter loves gold. Peter is Mr. Gold, to say the least. And he seems to think that the people that invested in Bitcoin are going to be sorely mistaken and that they've blown it. I don't think wouldn't go that far, but I think it's interesting. The Verizon CEO, boss, could still pocket $20 million as he loses his job, and they cut, think about this, 15,000 jobs are going to be cut from Verizon. Are you not paying your cell phone bill? No, it's just too expensive right now. It is outrageous to have a cell phone plan. So, the affordability of everything, you have to deal with this. You have to be able to pick up the phone. When my mother was alive, she was so good at this. I mean, she was so good at calling and hemming and hawing, and maybe it was her salesman's sons. I don't know what it was, but she just was so good at this. And there is a fantastic article that I've got below for you from the one and only Mr. Wonderful. And he's talking about how, everything that's going up, if you notice your internet bill, your cable bill, anything, call them and work on this. And you need to speak to the retention expert, the retention manager for the company, because think about this. They would rather give you a better deal, and this is Kevin O'Leary's thinking about this, and it's a great article. They would rather give you extend or reinstate promotional rates. They'd rather waive fees, give you a one-time charge-off, offer loyalty perks, price match to competitors. They'd rather do that because the odds of a retention specialist, once you speak to this person in the company, they have a 67 to 84% chance that they're going to be able to keep you as a customer. That is talking about a strong batting average. That's fantastic. But Kevin says that you need to learn to negotiate. You need to learn to ask for the moon when you do this. And once again, I am on a fixed income. I am broke. I cannot do this. And everything is just more expensive right now. Nothing is inexpensive. Nothing is a deal anymore. And this is something that you need to work on because it's so good. It was such a good article. But his whole thing was he loves a deal and he is a billionaire. Well, you can afford it, Dan. Well, just pay. The cable bill goes up $50 a month. Pay it. It's funny. My cable program, my cable package that I have all these movies on, does not have Paramount Plus on it. And I want to watch Landman right now, and I've got to add it. So I'm trying to figure out what is the best way to do this so that I'm not going to get fleeced on this. Do I buy it on my phone and then just stream it to my TV, cast it to my TV? What do I do? That's the big decision in my house right now. There is a law firm that you've heard of, Morgan and Morgan, that advertises all over the moon, and they do basically a weekly recall list. And Lauren, Connecticut sent me this list, and it's fantastic. But they do an email list where they have all the recalls. And from a month ago, the Toyota recalls. You've got the Chevrolet Equinox, the Hyundai, the Nissan Leaf, the Toyota Sienna, And again, everything from cars, baby loungers, retractable safety gates, uh, children's robes, all this stuff. And again, the Litigation Festival, a personal injury law firm that sues the bejesus out of people, which they're the world's largest personal injury firm. You don't get that big for nothing because you didn't do something right. But their cool email list of recalls, that was super sharp watching that. Dr. Marvin sent me a bunch of stories. And one of them that I'm furious about is having to tip. You must tip. Hi, I ordered something. I ordered a pizza to go, and there's an article below that one man went in and he was like, well, I want to put zero in. Well, it won't let the transaction go through if you have 0% tip. You have to tip, sir. You have to tip us something. How would you feel about that? You must tip. There's not, it's gotten out of hand that you have some kid that's rude with his nose piercing and he's a jerk and, barely looks at you, but you're supposed to tip that kid something. You wouldn't give him advice, but you're supposed to give him a financial tip. Remember that. So how do you feel about that? That infuriates me. I always go, whoa, I was going to do that in cash. What are you going to do? Click and then deal with that. So, Target's trying to do something new. I get people that when I say the name, hey, do you shop at Target? They either love it or they hate that store. I don't shop at Target much anymore for a few reasons that you guys know about from a couple years ago. But one thing that they're doing right now for the holiday season is they're trying to have discounted shopping. And they just lowered the price of 3,000 items in the stores for the holidays. Food, drinks, and essentials. They want to have the least expensive Thanksgiving on record. I don't know if that'll ever be possible. I think the Pilgrims had it pretty cheap, but I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to also have their meal, which would be $5 a person for an entire Thanksgiving meal for an entire family at $5 a person. That seems good. That seems reasonable. So we'll see if that works. Now, my buddy Mike last night sent me a video from a thing called Amazon Haul. And I'm like, wow, what's that? Well, Amazon Haul is basically Amazon trying to be the dollar store company where you can buy 3 items at $1 a piece and have them shipped to you. And it was just blown away. He starts clicking on stuff and showing me a little video. And because it's the Amazon side, I can't put that in here. But I was blown away. So Amazon Haul, has anybody used Amazon Haul and bought those dollar items? Now, 2 last things before I finish this video. Number 1, we have a brand new video sharing site, newvideos.com. Check that out. I am excited because Bob's webinar is coming up and it's sold out this time too. So for those of you that are going to be there, stay tuned to the email and you'll get to see Bob in his glory. And don't forget, we have a private site called iAllegedly Live, which is all the uncensored stuff that we can't talk about in other places. Now, final story. Ozempic and Mounjaro. These are weight loss drugs. These were drugs, guys, that were designed for people with type 2 diabetes. But again, they're from the Gila monster. I'm not making this up. And again, I've had a lot of smart people tell me this. I've had one in particular explain it in great detail how dangerous this is. But these were designed for people that have high blood sugar and need to control that. But what happens is you have some lazy person that doesn't want to exercise, doesn't want to eat right, doesn't want to do the right thing. So they go out and they take this stuff. And again, you're risking your own health. You really are. We don't know the answers to this. But one thing that it took me was a story from the UK that 170 deaths are attributed to those things, right? Those 2 different drugs right now. Oh, 170 people died taking that stuff? Is it bad? Huh, didn't tell us that. Sure they did. You just didn't pay attention to it, lazy. Eat right, exercise, go out in the rain. It's fun. Okay? If you want to get a hold of me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. Be kind to every single person you come in contact with. Smile. You have no idea the difficulty that they're going through right now. You have no clue right now. But there are more and more people right now that are dead broke as we enter this holiday season, and people are having a difficult time. Kindness counts, guys. Kindness counts. I will see you very soon.